Artists move in to places that are generally considered, safer, less desirable, and they make them more desirable or more interesting.
Walk through this space and it looks like really kind of shitty, you know, like no drywall, no insulation, piles of dirt.
We just wanted to have a place where we could do our projects, where we wouldn't have to go broke.
The person who bought this building knew he was going to have this empty building for a couple of years before it got torn down, and he wanted, he knew it would be useful for someone, but he didn't want to invest a lot of money into renovating some space that he was going to tear down. A friend of his said, well, artists, we can be very flexible with kind of space, and he's a supporter of the arts. And,
It's interesting, and there are successful warehouse spaces that do similar stuff to different extents. Some of them are strictly party performance places, some of them are strictly live workspaces that are just artists living there.
I guess you're going to go to the House of Yes. That's one place where the tenants took it on and did them, built out their own vision themselves.
Yes, I'm Kay Burke of House of Yes in Brooklyn, New York.
This is a performance art space, is that what you call it?
Performance venue is actually a cool tag because we do, we're not just for performance art, so we like to open up to being a venue as well. Sometimes there's theater with a curtain and seats, and sometimes there's classes with mats and students, and sometimes there's just a bunch of people with glow sticks. If you know what I mean. So
oh yeah.
We're always into, we meaning Anya and I, always into making things that are bigger than ourselves. That's kind of the overarching statement you can make. It's oh, you want to make something bigger than you. You want to make it, sometimes that's performing. You're affecting more people than just yourself with the actions you do. Some it's costuming, you're making your body bigger than it is. Make Fun is the title of the studio, and that's a costume production facility, which we do for our own stuff and also take on orders for other performers.
I always enjoy scouting for spaces as a general rule. One room is dedicated to traveling artists from around the world as a residency. They get a free place to live. And so I wanted to create at the very least, a hopping off space for people who really needed New York City to expand upon their projects or art or dancing or whatever they're doing.
We all have different strengths within the community, so it's not like anyone's really in competition, and a lot of times you're sharing resources anyway.
It's a 100-year-old building, so it's seen, I think, a lot of different lives. It used to actually be two buildings. There used to be this sex clubs on the ground floor. They used to store office records up here, but I think there used to be some sort of machinery that used to also happen here.
And it was originally built after World War II to be an ice house.
I see.
Yeah, which means it's connected to the mafia originally. Oh yeah, we sold a bunch of ice. There's no proof of it because it melted. I sold 20 tons to Tony, and then that's why I have $20,000 fucking dollars completely legally. That's what it was originally built for. You could kind of feel it in the walls. You could kind of feel the skis.
The skis.
Yeah.
The skis is oozing.
Yeah, it hasn't gone away. I think we added to it in our existence here.
So how would you wish the world to go now in the next years?
The building owner actually would like to find another building. He really likes what's happened here, and another property to invest in and kind of recreate what's happened here.
I don't think industrial is going to work in the future. I think we're going to have to go back to fertile land. There is not fertile land in Brooklyn.
I think we would have to remove or ban the concept of private property. If you can throw up a fence around a piece of dirt and be like, yeah, I'm going to charge you money, time, labor, hours to go to sleep there, then that inherently sets up all these power structures and places people at huge disadvantages, and it makes sense to try and control those political schemes. Whereas if you take that away, it's not anywhere near as interesting or as fun to be in charge.
the model is not the building itself, more so the community that it builds and how people are learning to work together, because that's going to be one of the most like important foundations of the new times, is for people to learn to trust each other, work together, put up with each other without killing each other.
Gosh. I think New Yorkers would take care of each other for the most part. New Yorkers are really actually good people.
It's all that hippie bullshit that I'm totally into regardless. They're like, oh, creator is love, and like love is the answer and all that like stuff. I think people are gonna start realizing that. Alone you go faster, together you go further.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much.
Cool.